Good morning or good afternoon, depending, of course, where you are in the world. So welcome to our Hour of Power. And today's Hour of Power is actually based on the Juice Plus Leadership platform. So what I'm going to do is just share a little bit about that and answer any questions that people might have around it. The first question that I actually have been getting is, who's it for? Is it for everybody, or, is it only for certain people at certain levels in their business? Now, when we did the trial group, absolutely, it was kind of SSCs. I had a group of about 15. But really, the information that's on there is for everyone. If you are somebody who's not long started in your business, and you're just looking for being able to grow personally and professionally, this platform is for you. If you've been somebody who has been in your business for 17, 18 years, this platform is for you, because I'm a huge believer in constant and never-ending improvement, CANI, as Tony Robbins talks about, and that every day is a school day. So every day is an opportunity for you to learn more. And so I'll pop into the platform and you'll kind of get to see. But so who's it for? Absolutely everybody. The other thing that you need to know is that it's self-paced. So you've got access to it for 6 months. Now, why is there a time limit on there? Because it just puts that little bit, I suppose, onus on you to actually do it. How many times have we bought a book or a CD or a training platform or whatever it might be, and we've been full of good intentions and thought, oh, I've got forever to do that, and never actually got around to doing it. So this way, my hope and my wish for you is that once you decide to sign up, you actually then start to put some things in place. So for example, if it was me, I'd look at scheduling into my diary on a weekly basis an appointment with myself, an appointment with the platform for, an hour or 2 hours, depending on what it is that you want to do. And then making sure that over that following week, I'm implementing some of what I learned. Because remember, the power is actually in the action. It's not just in the learning, it's actually in the doing. So I think that that's really, really important. So you get that opportunity to be self-paced. Every month, there is a call, a general call, and that's the second Tuesday of the month, and reminder emails go out about that as well. And that way there, what I do is cover, and I'll do it in a rotating, because there's, of course, going to be people joining at all different times. So on the last call, I covered off on the orientation module. The recordings of those calls are also on the platform, so if you miss a call or can't get on there live, you can actually go back and revisit it, and there will be a bank of calls that will be added to. And then we'll go through module 1, 2, 3, and so forth, right through to the graduation module, which of course has a fantastic bonus in there as well, which I'll show you in a minute. So it's self-paced. You get to move through by ticking off that you've done certain tasks, and then it opens up the next module for you. So don't kid yourself. Do the work. Don't just tick the boxes and kind of go, oh, I'll come back to that later. We never come back to it later. We know that. So actually do the work before you move forward. So I'm going to share my screen, and let's have a little look to see what's behind the curtain. Okay. Alrighty. So just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen that says Juice Plus Success Academy. Awesome. Okay. Empowering future leaders. And on the front page here, I've got actually some little testimonials of people that have actually already been through there as well, and shared just their thoughts around that. Okay, let's log on again and just see. There we go. Alrighty, so when you come in, you'll see that the course that's there, Step Up to Leadership. And the first area is the orientation. I'll just go to orientation because that's already gone to the end, and that. So when we go into it, you'll see this is what I'm talking about, it being self-paced. So you actually get to see you've got the little tick boxes down here, and you only get to move forward as you tick them off. So I've listened to the welcome message, and there's a welcome message there. I've taken the sensational networking assessment. Now I'm going to click on this. I'm not going to be clicking on everything that's on the platform, but I am going to click on these two here. Because what I love about this kind of assessment here is you get to grade yourself on some of the areas we're going to be talking about within the platform. So the first area is around mindset. And what I know to be true of being in this industry for so long, a lot of the blocks we have, and why are two different people successful, or have different results, should I say, when we've got the same product, the same marketing plan, the same opportunities, yet people can have two different sets of results. In my experience, a lot of that comes down to our mindset. A lot of that comes down to maybe our beliefs or some of the blocks that we have. So we look at that straight away. So we look in the first section here and you grade yourself, okay? So you can move the marker along to see what it is that it's going to be. Okay, you can see the numbers changing here on it. Okay, so, we start to look at, I have a clear and compelling written vision for my business and life. Well, is that true for you or not on a scale of 1 to 10? I have a strong belief in my company, our products in the network marketing industry. Where do you sit on that? I begin each day with a personal practice that puts me in a positive and powerful place. I have formed daily habits that support me in living the life I want to live. I'm aware of my self-talk and of strategies for managing its impact on me. I do not let disappointment and rejection keep me from going for my dreams. Now, guys, what's really important here is as you're working through the platform, when you're starting off on this, be absolutely honest with yourself. This basically is between you, me, and the platform. That's it. They're the only people that see it unless you decide to share it with anybody else. And that, so literally, it's between you and this piece of paper. So be honest with yourself. Where are you now? Because you can come back and revisit this at any time, but you also get to do it at the very end as well. So you can kind of see where your starting point is. Now, I'm a firm believer that you don't know, if you don't know your starting point, you don't know the areas that you really need to be sewing into, that you need to be working in so you can move forward. So the first area is mindset, and then you get to do some work around mindset as you move into the beginning modules. The second one that you're going to look at is relationships. Okay, now this is a relationship business. If you don't like people, if you're not wanting to sow into relationships, well, then you may find it a little bit difficult to actually get some success in place. So, the questions you get asked here is, I'm very comfortable with networking to extend my circle of contacts. That could be online networking, person-to-person networking, whichever. I invest time each day to nurture relationships with prospects and clients. Nurture is the important word there. I have 3 strategies for growing my network that work every day. I'm comfortable talking about what I do and a variety of ways to share. I have a system for tracking new contacts so I can follow up with ease. I have a variety of ways I follow up that are comfortable and provide value. So what you do is you get to check to see where you are now and where you get to go to. The next one is about sharing our business opportunity, because guys, at the end of the day, you are in a network marketing business. And so to be successful, true absolute residual income, create the magic part of what is network marketing, there is that part about sharing our business opportunity. Now, don't get me wrong, you can build a good business based on customers, okay? You can have plenty of customers, practice great customer care, and you will have a check coming in every month. However, that becomes a job because you're not leveraging the power of network marketing by working on not just the people and contacts that you know, but also being able to sew into other people and helping them to build their contacts. So, the magic is in being able to leverage you and people that you may know now or may not know. I was speaking at an event, a Juice Plus event last night, and I was given the example of how, the upline of the guy that was presenting with me, he didn't know anybody that was in David's team prior to Juice Plus. And he didn't even know David before Juice Plus. It was a relationship that kind of got fostered because of that. And now there's this whole line of people, beautiful people that were there last night that he had no clue with before. That's the magic of the business. Now because he's sewing into that team, he's getting paid on the efforts of a lot of other people as well. That's the power of it. So that's about business. But if you don't share that business opportunity, and if you're not comfortable with doing it, then of course you don't get to leverage it. So this whole section here is about sharing the business opportunity. How do you look at that? What is it you're doing? Do you understand the psychology of sponsoring, and so on and so forth? So we look at that. And then the last part of the actual questionnaire is around your personal power. So what are some of the systems, the goals, etc., that you've got in place for your daily inspiration? Have you broken down weekly, daily, monthly goals? Are you making sure that you know what your DMO is? In other words, managing your to-dos to keep them focused and effective. Do you look at investing in your own personal growth and learning? Grow me, serve you, when I look at over the years, those people that stayed in the game and, and grow are those that are investing in their personal growth as well as their professional growth. It's that personal growth. So this really is, our business is a personal development growth course disguised as a business, I definitely would. And, you know, have you got someone that you turn to for guidance, accountability, and encouragement? Have you got that buddy? Have you got a coach? Have you got a mentor? What is it you're putting in place there? So once you fill it out, you submit it, and it gets sent to you so that you've actually got the score where you are, and then you can start to look at where you are going to. Okay, is that making sense? Yeah, cool. Let me just see. There's a chat here. I'll just check if there are any. Where's the chat showing? I'll come back to that in a second because it's not showing me the chat at the moment. I don't know what's going on there. Pardon me. So if we go back to orientation for a second, I'll come off share screen in a second so I can see what the chats are. And that we also then have the discovery survey. Now the discovery survey is really just about digging a little bit deeper into what you've got here. So for example, it looks on how satisfied you are with your business. And we start to look at some of the issues. This is where you get to diarize, I suppose, or journal a little bit about what what it is, where you are now, what do you think might be keeping you from going to the next level, what do you how many people are you actually recruiting. This is where you get to do a little bit of an audit about where things really are now, not where we think they are. Okay, so you start to look at, okay, what am I really doing? I know for myself, there was times when I was busy being busy and not busy being effective or, productive. And so when we identify some of those things, they can be exceptionally powerful in and of themselves. So we get to do a proper audit really on where we are and what we're doing. So again, once you submit that, it gets sent through to me and to you so that we've actually got that as well. So, and it also gets you to set some goals. What do you think that you want to gain through the experience of this course as well? And that helps me to help you guys even more. Alrighty. What else have we got in orientation? So in orientation as well, we have over here on the left-hand side then as well, there's actually a Facebook group that I've just started so that you can actually join the Facebook group, the community, just to support and encourage one another as well. So that's there as well. You've got an Powerful Intentions worksheet so you can set your intentions, and it also shows you that you can actually mark your diary with the live calls, and the live calls are all listed up here under live calls, and some of the extra business resources that you'll see as we go through are listed for easy access under the bonus resources as well. Okay, alrighty, so I'm just going to stop share for a second because I just want to come back here and see what's in our chat. Here's the chat gone. Okay, is this being recorded? Yes. Okay, alrighty, cool. That question was answered. Really good. Alrighty, I'm going to go back to sharing screen again. All right, so that's the welcome one. Then we get into module 1. And there's lots of stuff in here, guys. And again, there's a whole workbook that you can download, and I speak to that workbook in the 2 recordings that I've done. So you get to be able to work through it, and you can stop and start the recordings of me talking about it and just adding extra bits of value as well. Maybe some stuff that's not actually in the workbook just as I'm speaking to it. So there's going there. Then you get to start to look at what your vision for your business might be. And so we have an exercise called your compelling vision exercise. Okay, so that helps you to do there. And then we start to look at identifying some strategies that are going to help you with your mindset and emotions around sensational sponsoring. So in other words, inviting people into our business, and that, as I said earlier on, the reality is that we are in a people building business, a relationship business. So it's important to make sure that we're looking at what that might look like. So we have some extra mile bonuses in here as well. And there is a journal. There's a fantastic The Magic of Journal article, and also there's a journal from one of my gorgeous friends who is donating some of the money towards Nutrition Plus on that, and it's a forgive yourself. She has an app called I Forgive You, and her story is truly amazing. But it's a great journal as well that you can actually purchase if you want to, or I really encourage you to go out and get yourself a journal so that journal can become part of what it is that you do on a day-to-day basis to be able to grow yourself and to grow your business. Okay, so the other thing too, and I love this next exercise, there's a values discovery exercise. Now, for me, and I've touched on this on trainings before, but I think one of the most important things is making sure that you are really clear about what your values are, because from there you get to be able to attract people to you that actually have values that are in alignment. When you're trying to work with people whose values are complete disconnect, it's really hard. It's like button heads. And honestly, just because I've said this before, just because people are upright and breathing does not mean that you have to invite them into your team. Okay, they may be perfect for somebody else's team, but they may not be perfect for your team. And so I think it's really important to make sure that we're operating with ease and flow. And when we're really clear about our values and who we are, and in here I talk about I am statements and things like that as well, you know, I think that what you'll do is you will find that you will start to attract some beautiful people to you. Okay, so there's a daily rituals handout as well, and I love this one from Michael Johnson, that the interview that we did with him on self-belief, and I thought it was a great resource to actually add into this section as well. Alrighty, cool. Then we move on to module 2. And module 2 is all about building and embracing purposeful relationships. So it's about really looking at becoming courageous in your journey, you know, every day, so that you can actually create lifelong contacts that may or may not join your business, but have a much better chance of joining your business, because you'll have a comfort around being able to have conversations with people about Juice Plus the product or Juice Plus the business. So again, there's a whole action guide, and there are 2 recordings around that action guide that you actually get to work through as well. You'll see that there's work to do, guys. It's not just printing it off and leading or just listening to it. There's actually some work to do. I think it's really important. And of course, you know, no kind of follow-up would be complete without some mention of the grid, and that is definitely in there. And of course, I have the little video with regards to the grid in there as well. And we have a fearless follow-up list. So again, helping people that maybe have had difficulty in putting together a follow-up list or a memory jogger, and it is really, really important as well. So we have some notes around that. The other thing too is, and what I found, some of the feedback from the trial group was when they actually really got clear about who they were attracting, it was really quite interesting. Looking at what are the qualities of those people. What are the qualities of the type of people that they actually want to attract into their team? And when you get quite clear about that, it's amazing what conversations come up. You know, I really believe that when you are super clear about your goals, about who you're wanting to attract into your life, conversations come out of left field and you kind of go, oh, where did that come from? And it's kind of like, well, thank you, God, or thank you, universe. You get clarity, you get clear, and next thing it all gets presented for you. Who do I talk to document how to use your memory jogger? These are all items, of course, that are on your VO as well, but I'm putting them in here and that. And then, you know, again, one of the things that stop people in having conversations is their belief around the industry. So I've included the Inside Our Industry Part 1 and 2 with Gordon Hester that the beautiful Carla hosted for us earlier this year, I think it was. I can't remember. It seems like ages ago. And that, but 2 awesome. I was chit-chatting with Gordon, and he was very happy for us to put them in here as well. And I just think that again, that whole belief around the industry and understanding the backbone of it all, I think is powerful, and no one does that better than Gordon. And of course, when his book is released, hopefully over the next few months, that will also be put in there as a resource as well. So very excited for that. So again, you get to tick off all the little boxes as you go through. This is the fun part. I actually love ticking things. I really do. I'm one of those tickers. I love being able to mark things out, take things out. I've done that out of my schedule. Okay, that can go now. So I kind of had a lot of fun with kind of designing and clicking things. So, so again, it's asking you, have you done something? Have you listened to module 1 and module 2, part 1 and part 2? Have you completed the sections of the action guide about expanding your personal network? Have you added more networking events to your calendar? Have you set aside time to fine-tune your follow-up system and actually do it? And have you reconnected with 5 or more of your existing relationships? In other words, it's not just about your business, it's about sewing into those beautiful relationships that you want to still have there. But if we don't sew into them, why would they be there? Okay, so again, really, really important. So that covers off on a little bit of what's in module 2. Then we go on to module 3. And as you can see, there's a lot in here, guys. So that's why you've got 6 months to do it. If you were doing it consistently, you would definitely do it in your 3 months. You definitely would do it in your 3 months if you're doing it consistently. Okay, so module 3 then is about how to do, how to have meetings, one-on-ones. And I mean, some people say to me, shouldn't that just be common sense? Or if I go to a few, well, no. Absolutely, it should be. However, at the end of the day, there are still sometimes when we get stuck, what am I going to say? How do I frame my meeting? Oh, how do I bring it up? How do I, just the whole format. So I've really broken this down into step by step. So again, there is another module, and you then have part 1 and part 2 that you can listen to. There's the opportunity meeting form, which actually can be, it's, again, those hints and tips about what we'll do. Powerful questions, a little cheat sheet, so that you can actually have a little look at that and kind of, frame yourself before you go into a meeting as well. And then a recording from The Magic of Power of Questions from Kerry Daigle, okay, one of our awesome national marketing directors from the US. So there's some powerful questions there. Okay, so did somebody have a question? I saw something flash at me again, so I'm just going to stop share and come back to the chat. Okay, awesome. That's the way, Ruth. Thank you. You loved module 3. What did you love most about it? Give us a little share there. What was the thing there? You can either unmute yourself or type, whichever you want to do, Don.
Sorry, I just pull over. I was driving.
Oh, there you go. Don't crash.
No. I think what I loved about it was just that plan going into a meeting with someone. And I think so often we can get quite nervous and tend to overthink it and make it about us.
Yeah.
And be constantly thinking, when that person is talking about what we're going to say next or what we're going to ask next. Yeah. And going in with that plan and knowing kind of where it's going to lead just made it so much easier. I was just able to relax more. I knew kind of the journey, the path I wanted the conversation to take, and it was just about asking them questions and making it all about them, which just relaxed me a lot more because I wasn't putting all the focus on myself.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, fantastic. Excellent. Thank you, beautiful. I appreciate you sharing that. That's really cool. Alrighty, let's go back to our share screen. Okay, so again, tick off as you go through, but again, it's about building those relationships. So, some powerful stuff in there to be able to just dig a little bit deeper. Okay, then we head into module 4. Okay, so module 4 is about amping up your personal power. So there's a lot in here around about, taking control of your life as well. Okay, and I encourage people to do a time audit so you know really where you are spending your time as opposed to where you think you are. So we start to look at, we have a freedom planning form, and we go through in here, then we talk about the ACE checkup. Those of you who attended the trainings I did recently around the country will have heard me talking about attitude, commitment, and effort, and looking at what that actually means as well. So we start to look at that. We also then look at the power of goal setting. And again, we have another resource that's available for you to be able to purchase, and it's the NFP Connect Planner, which we promote that, of course, for Nutrition Plus. It's a great planner. It's an A4 planner. I know a number of the different participants that were on there, and a number of you guys around the country have actually already purchased it. But it is a fantastic planner, lots of goal setting ideas in there. As well. And of course, it actually, as I said, part of the proceeds go to Nutrition Plus, which is really, really cool. The other thing then that we have is we have some time management training. And again, I put time management down there, but I'm a huge believer that it's actually self-management. We're all blessed for 24 hours in a day, but sometimes we seem to get more out of it than maybe somebody else. And what is that coming back down to? Another little another article on conquering inbox overwhelm. And in this day of technology, when I refer to inbox, I'm talking about your emails, I'm talking about the messenger on Facebook, I'm talking about all of those different places where sometimes we feel like we have to be on 24 hours a day, constantly going back and checking our emails to see if there's a new one. Whereas I ask the question, if the postman came, how many times do you go out to the post box to see if something else has arrived in the post box? Now, I'm not saying that you don't, you don't check all of these areas. But what I am saying is do it strategically. Actually have some time when you might have it even scheduled in that you will go and look at those things, whether it's Facebook Messenger, whether it is Voxer, whether it is, your inbox on your emails. Actually look at it so that you're in control rather than the other way around. And that can take a little bit of practice, and I've been, reworking on that again because I found I'd actually slipped into it always being available. So there are times when I'll just switch it off. It's not on, and there's honestly nobody has died because of the fact that I haven't answered straight away. And then there are the times when, I want to be available, or I'm in a chat because we've got something going on, and that. But make those choices yourself. So there's a little bit around that as well. Another great hour of power that we had, and another great resource, was the interview with Matt and Nat around that whole mindset. That was a really another great resource there. And so we've got the video in there about from them, which was really cool. And then the last little resource, which I'm loving, it's called Task Manager Pro, and it's being developed by a beautiful girlfriend of mine, Lindsay Bagent, who's been in this industry as long as I have. So we've been around for a long time, and I helped her actually develop the network marketing side of it. She had it developed purely for party planners first up, and so there's a video there about Task Manager Pro, and it's got everything in there from an online calendar to how to do some, place for all of your follow-ups and all the rest. So again, it's another resource that may add value to your business. So completely up to yourselves on that one as well, but it's something else to be able to check out. So what I'm trying to do is find some resources that will really help you to add value to the platform. The next one is and again, you guys would have seen it, but I've actually put it in here because especially if we've got newer people that are starting, are using the platform and also need some of those basics. So I put in the training I developed earlier this year called the 5 Ps to Successful Sustainable Business. There is a workbook coming. I'm working on that at the moment. But the 5 videos that I actually covered off on this one. So what you've got is the first one, of course, is about plan to succeed. So that's the first P. The second one is around people. Okay, so we look at that one. The third one is presentations or events or whatever that might be for you. The fourth one then is being professional in all parts of what it is that we do. And the last one there is plot your beliefs. So, looking at what your beliefs are and how you may improve or grow on those. So that's that 5. So I've added that one in as an extra value add as well, and just also so that people can find them and take action on them. And then we go into the graduation module. Okay, so the graduation module, again, has some more information in there. You get to take the assessments again that you did right at the very beginning so that you can look at what it is that, how, you've grown and where you've come on the journey. But the other exciting part about the graduation module, to be honest, is this amazing resource. Now, if any of you have met my friend Mitch and Mills before, they do a weekend workshop called Mastermind and Money, and they very graciously recorded it and they have made it available to us. Now, one of the things that I know to be true, having been in this industry for so long, is that it can create some beautiful residual income for people, but I've also seen it come into people's bank accounts and go out just as quick without any managing in between. And so this can actually be the downside of what we call our industry, because people can be making money and they can be making very good money quite fast, but have no concept of how to manage their money, have never learned anything about the wealth principles, about putting 10% into savings and tithing and all of those types of things. And so Mitch and Mills teach a great course. If you don't want to listen to the course, you can read. There's any number of books out there. Tony Robbins has done one recently. But guys, I seriously recommend that you look at some way of being able to manage your money, and whether that's investing, etc. Remember, as business owners, if you're not investing into something like superannuation, for example, and that, I'm not here to give you financial advice, but I'm just saying, if you're not looking at how are you managing your money, what are you putting into the different buckets, so that this is not living just for now, that you're actually living for the future as well. You're creating something for yourself. So some people are blessed to have financial planners, others don't. I'm a firm believer that hire expert advice. I really am. get a great accountant, get a great financial planner, whatever it might be that you need to put around you to support you. And remember, you are running businesses that have the potential to be multi-million-dollar businesses. So, treat them as such. Again, you've heard me say before, I wish it was $160,000 for your franchise in some ways, because we might treat it a little bit different instead of $165 or $60, whatever it is now. Okay, so I really encourage you. This is a great course. I've done it, Mick's done it, Kara's done it. I know many, many, many of our franchisees and friends that I've got around the country have actually done it. And so he's actually done, there's about 6-7 hours of training here broken down into it, and there's a workbook that goes with it as well, so you can literally go through, and it goes through everything, not just the principles, the mindset behind, because just like in building a business, there's a mindset that can oftentimes get in our way. When it comes to managing our money, there's a mindset around that too. So again, I think this is an amazing resource that Mitch and Mel's have actually gifted to us. So that's the platform. That's what's in there. Let me come off stop share here so I can see what questions we actually have. And so feel free to unmute yourself if you've got a question, or type it into the thing. But are there any questions that you haven't, that I haven't answered over the course of the call so far? Carla, let me unmute, darling. Unmute. Covered.
Hi, Celine. Thank you for sharing all of that. I think that's definitely given a much clearer insight onto how to share this, with the teams and the value that they get. I just wanted to ask, obviously, because you've got like the Facebook group and things like that going, people can join this though at any time, right? Because they're doing it in their own time. So that doesn't affect, because you said you've got a call that's going to happen once a month, etc. Do you know what I mean? Is there any way someone can feel like they're behind or not knowing things? No.
So basically what I will look at doing there is, each call will be around a particular module, definitely. So if they haven't gotten there, I'll speak to it from both the perspective of, what's in there and what are some of the things that they can look forward to expecting if they haven't actually gotten there. And for those that are there, looking at covering it all. But in the so the call is going to be kind of quite generic. In the Facebook group, one of the things that I actually kind of was thinking on over this past weekend is I'm going to do some live calls based on some of the questions that are coming through on some of the discovery surveys. There seems to be a little bit of a theme happening, and so I'm going to speak to some of those types of things, and of course not at all make reference to anybody in particular or anything like that, but when there's a theme of challenges maybe that are coming up for people, or if people are emailing some challenges through, I'm going to do generic calls on it or live videos on it, rather than trying to answer each person individually. That would just be like, at the moment there's about 70 people on the platform, so there's no way that I'll have time to be able to answer every single query individually. So I thought with the group, I didn't really want to start up a group, to be honest, because I was thinking people have got so many different groups, and I'm thinking, well, what's the best way to be able to answer some of this? And I thought, live videos in a group, but it's optional. People can join the group or not. That's totally cool. If they've got enough groups already happening, they don't need to. But I just thought it would be another great way to be able to, speak to some of the queries that are coming up for people in there. So yes, so I'm hoping that nobody will feel, behind or left out. It's definitely self-paced. There's going to be people joining at all different stages, and that's cool. And you'll also have resources to be able to go back to. So if you've joined and I'm, say, talking about module 3, but you want to hear about, orientation module 1 and 2, you can go back and listen to the recordings, but it will come around again in a monthly call somewhere along the way.
Perfect. Thank you for that reply.
That's okay, though. Any other questions, guys? Anybody got any other comments or questions?
Yes, please.
Yes, go Hill.
Hi, that was outstanding. It's been on my to-do list for so long to consider it and all that. A couple of questions. First of all, just my own emotions of being excited and feeling scary has given me my own answer. Yes, I need to do this. It scared me from the point of time management. Oh, it's another thing to do. And that gave me my answer. So I'm sure you understand what I'm saying there.
Yes,
I just wondered, apart from the lovely Ruth, were there any other leaders in your trial group?
were there any other leaders? Oh gosh, there was about 15 people, and they were SSCs through to now NMDs, and it was great. We've actually had quite a few promotions that went through the group too, in continuing to grow. So we had a number of new Qs, and we had 2 new NMDs actually. I think both, I'm trying to remember now, both Jackie and Trisha, I think, were in the trial group. Or Erin, one or the other, I'm trying to think now. But yes, so as I said, it was right across the spectrum, and that I specifically had put it through to the SSE group, that one there, because I wanted to see what the development would actually be. And so that was actually quite powerful. But no matter where you are in the business, it's completely, open to everybody to be able to, grow and learn through there.
I think that very first section on mindset gave me the answer too, probably a lot of other people.
Yeah. And again, I hear what you're saying, Hill. Sometimes it can feel like, oh, we're just adding something else in or whatever. And that's totally cool, because again, we've got to look at, okay, well, what have we got currently going on? And so it's like anything, I suppose, is if nothing changes, nothing changes. So right now you ask, okay, well, with what I've got going on, is that working for me? Or do I need something different? And so this creates, I suppose, a community. And one of the things that I know quite a number of the comments that came back from the trial group was that community where, you were encouraging and helping one another. And we actually did have a Facebook group for that group. And so they shared, and we shared challenges and encouraged one another in there. So, I think one of the things is just about that community of supporting people through the journey as well.
Thank you.
Cool. And Laura, you've asked the question about cost. We hadn't actually mentioned it, but yeah, it's $97, and that's access for 6 months. So it's basically less than profit from a box of premium and that. And so I'm a huge believer in investing in what it is, putting some skin in the game. So even though it's a very small investment, there's been a lot of blood, sweat and tears that has gone into this over 18 months. It's been in development and yes, so it is $97. Okay. Any other questions? Look at all those lovely faces. It all looks lovely. Alrighty. Okay. Awesome. Cool. Thank you, Carla. Do that. So why did I decide to do a call now? Well, there have been a few different questions coming through. But the other thing too, guys, is something like this is an awesome way to start your new year. And so what I would really encourage you to do is look at buddying up with someone. Maybe get somebody that's in your team or even a group of people to actually start along the same time. And that again holds you accountable. Like if you're actually working, if there's 2 or more of you that are kind of gathered and decide, right, okay, we're going to do this together and we're going to move forward. And I'll be constantly, by the way, this is not stagnant, it's an evolving platform. So as I come across new information or new leaders or somebody that, I think, oh my God, that's a brilliant resource, it will be going in there. It's a constant growing. And of course, feedback as well is always welcome. From the trial group, I had different levels of feedback, and so we were able to make some changes as well. So it will be an evolving platform too. This is not going to be stagnant. And it's very generic Juice Plus. So it's not like, particular to any particular country as well. So if you've got downline that is spread and you'd love them to be all working together on something that is spread around the world, this will be ideal for them as well. So what I encourage you to do is think about maybe getting a buddy or a group of you together that you start at the same time and you work through over a 90-day, like a 90-day game plan, like what are we working on each week or each month, and get together. And we came together as a group every few weeks. We had a call around what we'd done in the previous couple of weeks and what we were going to do in the next couple of weeks. And that actually kept people on track as well. So we were able to work through in about a 3-month period. Now, the other thing I touched on with those guys, we got together at the conference and had a little kind of conflab. And we talked about sometimes how we start, and it's a little bit like being on a diet. We're really, really good and we don't touch any of the Tim Tams. They sit in the cupboard and we don't have to touch them. And then we kind of get about 3 weeks in and we go, oh, we'll just have one Tim Tam. And then you kind of go, oh, and next thing you know, by week 4, all the Tim Tams are gone and you haven't been working on the platform. So we used to laugh a little bit about how the Tim Tams get you. Jackie's giving the thumbs up there. And And so again, when there is that little bit more of accountability and you're working alongside people, the Tim Tams are less likely to get hold, okay? You'll actually continue to work and grow and develop in a positive way towards the goals that you set for yourself. So I really hope that that has helped, that has answered your questions. If there's any other questions that I haven't answered, please ask or else message me directly. That's not a problem. But I hope to see you guys on the platform at some stage, growing and having fun.